in 1782 was John Whitaker's farm. If you stand real still and listen hard enough, you can almost envision through your senses the life that the early settlers led here. A few further miles along the creek was Squire Boone's painted stone station. The name Red Orchard was given to this property because of the apple trees planted here by Whitaker and his family. Long before there were roads and maps and signs, settlers used landmarks for their guides. As settlers came across this land in the fall, they would watch the horizon and look for the red glow cast by the sun as it hit the apple orchards. Squire Boone first visited this land in 1776. He took a flat stone from the creek, and with a pickaxe, he carved his name in the stone. He then painted that name upon the stone with a paint he made from berries. It was from this stone that he laid by so he would remember the land that he came back to build for his family in 1780, a station that became known as Painted Stone Station. As the founder of Painted Stone Station, Squire Boone had the enormous responsibility for overseeing the safety of the many families at his fort. But Boone decided in 1781 that Indian harassment was becoming all too prevalent. The attack on this station was not an isolated incident. General George Rogers Clark was trying to mount a force to go after the Indians and the British at Detroit. He had gone back east to get permission from Virginia. We were part of Virginia at that point. He tried recruiting men as he worked his way back to Kentucky, but many men did not want to leave their homes and families unprotected. The Indians knew of Clark's plan, and they planned to counterattack as he and his forces came down the Ohio River. But Clark's reputation preceded him. The 400 Indians, gathered by the Mohawk chief Joseph Brant, decided not to attack Clark. Instead, they decided to attack a smaller group led by Archibald Lockery in late August. All of those men were killed or captured. Many of the Indians were satisfied that they had done enough with that attack, and they started home for their homes north of the Ohio. They knew winter would soon be upon them, but a smaller group of Miami Indians wanted another target. So they chose the smallest, least protected station on the Kentucky frontier, and that was the Painted Stone Station. Bland Ballard had been out scouting, and he noticed the increased Indian sign. He sent out word that the settlers should abandon their station and move to a more populated fort known as Lynn's Station. So a detachment of the Kentucky militia was sent out to guide the settlers to Lynn's Station. Squire had been shot in the arm by Indians in April, and he was not fit to travel. And there were not enough pack horses to take all the goods of all the families in the station. So Squire Boone and the widow Hinton and her family remained behind in the station. The settlers started out, but they were carrying all their household possessions and driving their livestock. Lieutenant Welsh of the militia became violently ill and was forced to pull off the trail, and many men stayed behind with him. The settlers got strung out. It was about midday as they were fording Long Run Creek that the Indians attacked.
Look out for anything.
Don't get too spread out. Stay close. Tree line, boys.
God, don't let him get you hurt.
You run, you die. You run, you die.
You leave her alone. You leave her alone.
Leave her alone.
Stop.
After the attack, the Indians decided to stay in the area. They had to wait for the settlers to return to bury their dead. They didn't have long to wait. As the survivors of Massacre struggled into Lynn Station on the evening of September 13th, runners were sent out to inform all the nearby stations. Colonel John Floyd, as Jefferson County Lieutenant, was in charge of the defense of this county. He lost no time in mounting a small force of 27 men that rode out of Lynn Station the next day to pursue the Indians and bring any remaining settlers to safety. The men were divided in 3 columns. Colonel Floyd commanded the center column, which marched in the road. Captain Peter Sturgis commanded the right, and Lieutenant Ravenscraft was on the left. When the militia reached the branch of Floyd's Fork, they held a council, and they made it a rallying point in case they were separated. Here, Blaine Ballard and Mr. Harris begged to be permitted to go scout ahead, but Floyd would not hear of it.
Look at all your family, friends. Look what they've done to us. We ain't turning around today. We're gonna get them while they're on the run.
So let's press forward.
Everybody got your guns loaded, be ready to go. Anyone that drops their gun and runs will be hung. Let's go get them.
persevered here, we today can enjoy a bountiful life on this land. Thank you very much.
We're not done.
We hope you enjoyed that little slice of history. It's fun to get these reenactors to sing and design. Captured at the age of 2 or 3. This is what we don't understand though. If you were captured at like 2 or 3, by the time you were older, you would have forgot your language, you would have forgot your way of life. So we think that all the prisoners wanted to go back home to the white society. And that isn't always true, especially in the case of a lot of the women. Because the Native society was a much more patriarchal society. Women had way more rights than the white women here. A white woman on the frontier was lucky that she would be married again, like, relatively quickly. Because she didn't own anything, she didn't have property, it did not become hers. She was married again as soon as she could, so that she would have a house and a way to support her children. But in the Native society, the women literally ruled that society, and their word had a lot more, that they could do. So when a lot of these people were captured, they didn't want to go back. We think, well, why wouldn't you want to go back? They didn't remember anything. They didn't remember their family. They didn't remember, their language and the customs that they were now used to. There are instances of people on the frontier that were brought back and then really lived an indeterminate life. They would live with one side for a while and weren't happy. They would go back to the native side and they still didn't fit in there. And it was really kind of sad that some of them fluctuated back and forth. Samuel Wells was one who became a high in the Indian society, but he was a child taken here in Shelby County, and there were others that were taken up to Detroit. I don't know, we didn't really touch on it in the script, but there were a lot of the British and the men in the green coats you saw were actually loyalists who remained loyal to the king and fought with the Indians. So whichever society you chose, it was up to you. So what they're going to do here, they would post in different places that there would be, a prisoner exchange, and families would go for miles and miles, and year after year after year, looking for that person that was lost. And in an Indian family, they would adopt someone. If they lost a person in their family, didn't matter whether it was a man or a woman or a boy or a girl. It wasn't that they were going to lose a girl and adopt a girl. It was just that they were going to replenish their family with a person. So that was a little different from us. So these folks are going to show you when these people came together and tried to exchange for guns or powder or people, what would happen. And unfortunately, I don't know what's going to happen. We don't usually know. This part is the unscripted part. Enjoy.
All right.
people. I do know that.
I just want my sister back. I think they're coming. Do you see her?
See movement. We're coming out. Can't trust them.
I don't see any prisoners.
I know my wife's been gone for 6 years.
There's Helen. Get her. Helen! Helen!
That's some of our folks wishing for their return. Some of them we haven't seen in a long time.
I know that's her.
Especially that one right there.
You need to leave this place.
You need to give us your prisoners. So we can take them back home.
Why do you come to negotiate? You need to leave this place. This is our land.
This is our land.
How are you?
We're here for the same reason. We're trying to feed our children, our families. We understand you're trying to feed your family.
You live in Ohio, across the river. Which one do you want back?
We want them all. Turn them all loose.
This one?
No. Here. No. Here. I'm not going back. No.
That's my wife.
No. Come back. No. No. They treat me better. No. Come back here. What are you thinking?
She don't realize, but I've already remarried. She's crazy.
You remarried. Who'd you marry? Well. You married my sister?
I married your sister. I married your sister.
No. Well, what do I want with you? Come back here. You play with us.
Y'all can have her. Turn loose your rest.
We still want those back there.
You wish to have her back?
Turn loose the rest.
Yes.
She don't want to come back.
Now, you need to leave this place. Do you understand this?
It was supposed to be civil.
Where are you going? We're not here to negotiate. These are our people now. You need to leave this place.
It's time for you to go. Guys loaded.
If you do not leave, your fate will be the same as
We lost a lot of good gunpowder off of that one.
Do you know these two?
I killed a buffalo over that hill. Freshly killed buffalo right over that hill. Sure.
their family members back on this day. Give them another round of applause, and thank you so much for coming. We really appreciate you.
So there we were, the Massacre Long Run.
Massacre, yeah.
Yeah, what do you think about
That's
that,
pretty
Sue?
awesome. There was quite a bit of activity going on. Gun shooting, prisoner exchange was interesting. I know they did a lot of prisoner exchange back then, but this was interesting.
Sure was.
Yeah.
So that's a great show.
It was.
Boonesboro next weekend.
Yes.
And anything else you want to say before we take off?
No, if you've never been out to a reenactment and you love history, you really have to come out to one of them. They're doing a fantastic job. They work hard. They put a lot of thought and effort into it, and they really put on a good show.
Yeah, it's one of the best ones
Yeah.
anywhere, isn't it?
It is.
The way they put this on, and they take it very serious.
They
so.
do. They do. They do a great job.
Had a great crowd today too.
Yeah,
so
fantastic crowd out here
enjoyed
to
it.
remember and honor history and the people who were pioneers.
Absolutely. Well, we'll sign off for now, guys, and remember,
Family tree nuts. Let our nuts find the nuts in your family tree.
see you now.